Hello everyone, it's the me, Game Penguin 21, and today, well, the week that I decided to try to take off, it seems that a lot of things are trying to just fucking die. It's incredible to me how just really dumb it is the entire time that, I decide to I'm gonna just take a break, and then just the worst thing ever seems to happen, so I guess no more breaks for me. But I still wanted to talk about a couple of things before we get into the main meat and potatoes of this video. One mainly being about, well, Redfall. That being, the day before, got a 1 on, IGN, which I am surprised. I have never in the history of ever in my life have ever even seen IGN give less than a 4. So to see them give the day before a 1, that's incredible to me. That's actually so dumb. Incredible. Next up, of course, we've got Grums here. I cannot ever mistake that picture for Baldur's Gate 3 is killing D&D, not saving it. That's not true, because it is actually saving it, because more people will be interested in the game. Not only that, right, but also the thing that actually is killing D&D would more or less be Wizards of the Coast, because you don't know anything about tabletop RPGs, or even the niche. It's like, oh, it was always used to be a niche, everyone included in D&D, Baldur's Gate 3, blah, 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 100 times the market. Look, Grums, I don't have time to deal with you right now, so shut the fuck up, sit in the corner. Anyway, there was a huge PS5 Wolverine leak, starting off here, with Mr. Hates at FPS retweeting someone else there, talking about some of the screenshots. That's just some of the concept art that we currently have from the leaks. This was leaked, I think, a little bit back, but more importantly, I'm probably going to have to crop this out specifically in terms of timeline just to be safe for this, but there was a source that was leaked about 1 terabyte of actual data and stuff, and showed an official timeline here with pure PlayStation more or less putting out the entire timeline. I'm not sure if this is the official timeline or anything. I'm going to crop out the picture regardless, but the list of games there does seem to be accurate with what the terabyte of data that we've been talking about, that being the Venom, Wolverine, Spider-Man 3, Ratchet & Clank, X-Men, and a new IP coming around in 2031. All of those for the next few years, and it just seems that they're being relegated to that, which is quite interesting. Anyway, the next thing up we have here is someone being the Xbox Don, apparently. I don't know why. The Wolverine leaks look like complete trash. You can literally copy and paste Kratos, Aloy, Joel over him, and it's the same stuff. PlayStation has zero creativity, and I tend to agree that PlayStation has very little in terms of creativity. But at the same time, they brought out a lot of pretty decent games. They're not my personal preference, as I've been playing through a lot of the finals, as you could probably tell from the gameplay on your screen. But still, super fun. Next up, of course, we've got PMS Jordan kind of memeing on it a bit with expectation versus reality, where it's like, graphics look bad with Wolverine. It's like, it's not finished, and that's true. It's like, oh yeah, the graphics are bad, it's like, it looks awful. It's like, that's not it. You gotta wait for the game to fully come out before you start making this sort of thing. Next up, we got another person here, Gaming Prophet, who I actually kind of like his stuff. He's more neutral sometimes. Versus PlayStation fanboys when they see the leaked Insomniac documents showing PlayStation's next major AAA first-party game, Wolverine, isn't releasing until 2026, and they have till the Last of Us, and all they have is till then is The Last of Us Remastered and Helldivers 2, which that's kind of true, but they have other games that are multi-platform, but we all know that Sony fanboys don't do that, so whatever. Anyway, then we got, I think this is the other one, the other side of the coin here that we're going into with Dumb Gamers. Wolverine looks similar to X game. Also Dumb Gamers. Wolverine should take inspiration from Y game. So basically, being inspired by X is not a problem, but your solution to that is be inspired by Y. Probably. I mean, it depends on the game, because the thing is that Wolverine looks a lot like all of the other cookie-cutter Sony games that have been released so far, and maybe should take inspiration from, say, outside sources. Just kind of makes sense to me, my own personal opinion. So also in these interesting, weird leaked documents, they seem to have sales on Steams that were leaked as per the documents, roughly. And looking at all of these, none of these surprise me, by the way, by how money they've been selling. For example, God of War seems to have 2.5 million, with Horizon being 3.3. That one actually is a little bit surprising. Days Gone, 1.7. That's pretty standard. Spider-Man Remastered, interesting. Uncharted Lost Legacy, yeah, that makes sense. Miles Morales also kind of makes sense. And Sackboy. I'm surprised that the other one, Death Stranding, isn't up there. Very weird. Maybe it was more and I just didn't cap it, but that's quite interesting that we have those kinds of stuff. Next up, we have Hunter with a screenshot of, remember when Xbox was condemned for attempting to make the X1 permanent online connection? Now Sony sells a tablet that requires you to own a PS5, have a permanent online connection, and can't run any game by itself. But media has two different media measuring sticks, I guess. Like, who's going to tell Joseph that the Xbox sells an entire console that requires you to have a permanent online connection, and can't play games without it? I mean, who's going to tell you that that's not actually the case? I mean, more or less, the entirety of the connection is with the actual, I guess, xCloud or something like that, but whatever. That doesn't have anything to do with the leaks, I guess, but I just wanted to kind of throw some extra salt your way because this is going to be probably my last video of the week, and I will actually take that week off, so the next week off for Christmas, so it's a sad day. Fuck the hackers and leakers. I swear, so many people don't deserve video games. And look, I don't like hackers as much as the next person, but sometimes leakers, they just do things, dude. They just do things. I know that you want me to talk about this a little bit more, and I probably will towards the end of this, but at the same time, I'm just going through these tweets pretty effectively. Wolverine isn't until fall. Last of Us online cancel. PlayStation roadmap is cooked. We're for real not getting any games. Yeah, from the looks of it, at least in terms of Insomniac, there's nothing being released from them. Though, for other games, unsure. Because that's my thing here, is that Sony releasing games is pretty solid, but they're being worked out here. And most of the other studios haven't been performing to the same standards as Insomniac, at least from what we can talk about here. And yeah, a lot of those documents did actually give us a very interesting peer into the back. Like, for example, I know that I don't think I have anything on it here, but the Marvel games and stuff with the X-Men licensing, they had to pay like $500 million in order to get that contracts and stuff signed. And not only to get those contracts and stuff signed, but most likely make them exclusive unless otherwise stated, but they have to sell a butt ton of copies in order to keep that license afloat, which is very odd. I think this one's the most interesting tweet of them all right now, is that the Xbox Victim Support Group tweets out, even hackers don't care about to leak Xbox shit. Now, here's the thing. I'm fairly certain I've talked about this tweet at least one other time before, but at the same time, this dude is flexing the fact that your entire company that you simp for, right, has essentially been hacked twice. This year alone, by the way. Twice this year, and have had documents and stuff be leaked in that context. That is not something to be celebrating. That is not something to be even remotely talking about. I think the reason why Xbox doesn't get hacked, or at least from what I can tell, is because Xbox is backed by Microsoft, and Microsoft has some pretty good hack-resistant technology, as far as we know. But at the same time, I can't think of any time when Xbox itself has been hacked. Maybe there's been one time in maybe 2006? Unsure. Correct me in the comments, absolutely. But don't flex the fact that your company got hacked and that it got a terabyte of data leaked onto the internet. That's bad. Alright, that's very, very bad, regardless of how you slice it. So they say, Xbox roadmap, be careful. Xbox wanted a roadmap. Be careful what you wish for. I don't think just Xbox wanted a roadmap here. I think also PlayStation people wanted a roadmap. And now that they have one, it's a little bit of a And also, here's another thing. Is this AI generated? I can't tell. I don't think it is. I think it's just very stylized. Very good looking stylization, by the way. But don't again, stop flexing the fact that your stuff got hacked and leaked onto the internet. That is not how any of this should be going, by the way. It's really not. It's really not. With hype saying PlayStation gamers get the whole full course dinner, while Xbox gamers get the leftover crumbs. Considering the fact that they had to pay $500 million, the Venom stuff was probably a DLC that was broken off from Spider-Man 2. Spider-Man 3 isn't coming out for another several years. It might even have to be pushed back, given the fact that they're going to be working on Wolverine and X-Men and stuff. Like, dude, this is not something to be flexing about. Especially with the X-Men one, because I think that the X-Men one, given the fact that it says they needed to make at least 8 million copies in a year, what was it, like 8 million copies in a year, they probably expect to launch that on PC as well. Maybe, maybe not. Unsure. But still, it's really, don't flex the fact that you got that whole thing. So I think to kind of round out this little bit of weirdness that about the internet here, I wanted to talk about this because there was actually another thing in that leak that I really wanted to talk about, and that was the financials that were leaked for Insomniac Games. And according to this here, the Insomniac Games had made about $567 off of Sunset Overdrive. And then he says Xbox don't buy games, been the case since 2013 according to leaked documents from Insomniac. And that's not true. See, the thing is, right, I read through this whole document here. The cost / budget was $46 million. The stuff that they made back was $49 million. So there was about there was about like a couple million that seemed to have gone there, and then they made like a profit, I guess, of 567, which, and that's numbers that were more or less up there. And here's the thing, you're saying that buying this is bad, and that like they haven't been buying these games since this time period, but you also have to understand a couple things here, right? Number one, that game itself was a launch title for the Xbox One, which had already been mishandled and mismanaged up until that point, to the point where I'm fairly certain half of the fan base hated the fact that Xbox was going the direction that they were. They had shot themselves in the foot, and that's why the sales kind of tanked for Xbox in that, because they tried to make it more about the media stuff. Next up was, this didn't look like a kind of next-gen game-ish, which is, again, in that kind of weird spot as well, being a launch title and everything. So, yeah. But I also read through that document a little bit more, and according to that same, well, not document, but according to the same Gaming Bolt fucking thing, apparently they lost about $8 million when it came to, I think it was, what the fuck was it? They lost about $8 million when it came to Ratchet and Clank. I think that's how it was. There was supposedly an update where they supposedly turned a profit because of some weird number crunching. Unsure. But according to at least that Gaming Bolt article that is listed here, they also, like, Sony people don't buy the same thing as well. Boy. I know this video was a little bit schizophrenic and a little bit out of nowhere and just all over the place, but that's what you get when, in the end, I have to make a video very quickly before going on for my holiday break. Again, I will be taking the next week off, other than posting my clip show that I promised for everyone, my BattleBit Remastered clip stuff. I'm not going to be posting any Xbox Salt that week, or any PlayStation Salt for that week, because I really like you guys, but my gift to you is my gameplay for this. I've also been recording a lot of the finals. I will have a review on that come next year. In terms of when that is going to happen, I might need a little bit more time for it, but I have over like 50 hours in this game, so it might be just a full-on review, and I already have my notes down for it. I just need to capture the gameplay for it. In terms of everything else so far, I think there's a couple of Harman videos that I'm kind of having now in the works, but all of that will be released after New Year's and stuff. So, to anybody else out there, Enjoy your holidays. Enjoy your New Year's. I love all of you. Thank you so much for a good 2023. Had so much massive growth, and I love you all. I gotta go. My name is GamePango21. That's what it is that I do. Links to everything in the description. Thank you so much for everything this year, and a peace off.
Hey man!